Thank you, everybody, for joining the Become a Billionaire with Me podcast. Today, I have my very special guest, Mr. Chopra, Mr. Smiles. He has a vast experience in the multifamily space. Mr. Smiles, please give a quick introduction about yourself.
I would love to, Martin. I live right here in Danville, Black Hawk, and we've been living in the Bay Area for 40 years, 40 years. And we just celebrated, my wife and I celebrated 40th wedding anniversary
Wow,
last month.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we have two wonderful children, and
That's
that's
great.
Neil and Monica. Neil went to Berkeley. He did
Wow.
electrical engineering, computer science. We are very proud of him. He's a senior product manager. And
Great.
then our daughter went to UCLA,
Oh,
and then
wow.
she did political science and then MBA. And she's totally engrossed in our business as the vice
Perfect.
president of operations, and my
Wow.
wife is involved. She's the vice president of investor relations. Then I have John Rusin, vice president of my academy, as you know, Multifamily
Yeah.
Academy. Then Ana Martinez as vice president of finance, and then we have senior accounts payable manager who's been with us 7 years,
Yeah.
Rishi. I mean, we just a small company, privately held company in the Bay Area, and we have done really well. Thank you, thank God.
Yeah.
My first, I would love to kind of go back to my humble beginning.
Let's do it.
I
Yeah.
I'm from India originally. I
Uh-huh.
grew up in Moti Bagh, which
Uh-huh.
is South Delhi, in one bedroom apartment
Oh,
with
wow.
six siblings. We had six
In the one
siblings plus
bedroom.
mom and dad in
Yeah.
one bedroom, and
Wow.
a living room and a kitchen and so forth. And so I've seen, ground up with no television,
Yeah.
no refrigerator in the house, no
Yeah.
stove. Well, we had the fire stove actually back then,
Yeah.
and then no telephone either. We didn't have
Wow.
any telephone until I was, I think, in ninth grade or something like that. We
Yeah.
walked to the school every morning, every evening, from
Mm-hmm.
elementary all the way to high school, and
Yeah.
had a bicycle. Anyway, so
That's great.
fast forward, we did. My dad built a home there in east of Kailash, which is in India. But
Uh-huh.
I came to USA. I became an engineer, mechanical engineer. I always wanted to be one.
That's
Then
amazing.
I came here to do my MBA, Masters in Business and in Marketing. I
Yeah.
was accepted by George Washington University back
Uh-huh.
east in Washington, D.C. And I came here with $7 in my pocket.
Wow. Wow. That's a real rags to riches story, right? You must feel very, very thankful.
Well, I'm really thankful. My parents have passed away, and my
Uh,
grandparents and all, and I really owe a lot to them, to be
yeah.
truthful. And my grandpa paid for the ticket to come here, my
Uh-huh.
airline ticket, which was quite expensive
Yeah.
43 years back
Yeah.
or so. My parents didn't want me to come here at all because
Oh
they
man.
thought that, I will never go back, which I did not. But I did help them while they were alive,
Yeah.
and they came and visited the USA also.
Yeah.
And my thinking was that I could come, earn a good living, and
Yeah.
then help my family back home,
Yeah.
which I did.
That's
And we have all siblings now all over United States
yeah.
and Australia and here in India, so all are very successful.
Wow. That's
Praise,
amazing. That's
praise the
amazing.
Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, praise the Lord. That's awesome. That's great. Well, yeah, maybe let's get started. You moved here from India, came here for school. How did you get from $7 in your pocket to over, what do you have, a couple hundred million in real estate now?
Yeah, we have 350 million now, and
Wow.
yeah, we actually, what happened was, Martin, that when I came from Washington, D.C. state, right there, I mean, my MBA, I didn't have much money, of course, and I wanted not to be a burden on my uncle. So
Yeah.
I said, okay, let me see what I can do. One of my good friend, YK Agarwal, actually, I remember his name 44 years later, and he says, Vinny, what are you doing for summer? I said, I don't know. I just came from India. My thick accent, nobody could
Mhm.
understand me, everything. He says, I sold books. I sold educational and Bible books door to door. Do you want to
Wow.
come along?
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I
Yeah.
said, okay, I'll come along. And I went there within 3.5 months coming from India. and my uncle wrote me 2 3 checks. I remember blank checks. And
Mhm.
he says, you have never sold a thing in your life. You're an engineer. What are you doing and everything? You just write down the amount when you're coming home, then let me know. And it was so ironical that I did really well. I knocked on doors.
Yeah.
I followed the system of scripting and whatever memorization of the talk. And then I had $1,000 in my pocket. I still remember. And I tore off the checks. I called my uncle from the pay booth and I said, I'm not going to come back.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out here near Atlanta. I
Yeah.
sold the books there, Martin, and door to door got knocked down with a car. I kept on going in Austell, Georgia. Then
Yeah.
I bought 3 years back $24 million worth of multifamily in the same streets where I was going door to door, knocking on the doors in my shorts.
Wow, that's amazing, right? That's great how that attempt to work out. That's awesome. That's great. Wow, 22, huh? 22 million.
22 million, 23 million we
Yeah.
bought. We sold one already. We bought for 10 million something, sold
Yeah.
for 15 million for. Bought another one in 2017, just 3 years back for
Yeah.
12 million and change. I got an offer for 19,800,000.
Oh
So
wow.
it's tremendous. My investors will be so happy as
Yeah.
we sell that after COVID,
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
happened. But
Yeah.
it's been really successful, in the sense that once you learn the business, I know
Yeah.
a lot of people might be thinking, oh my gosh, Vinny's up there, how did he get there? And, he went there overnight. No, nobody goes overnight to any kind of success in life. I
Yeah.
want to really remind everybody about the iceberg. See, iceberg, we only see the tip of the iceberg above the water, above the sea, but
Yeah.
what's behind, underneath, the majority of the iceberg is down below the water, which many
Yeah.
times we don't see. We only see the success, but we don't see the failures and all the persistiveness and everything. So I started actually very humble beginnings with getting one rental house for
Mhm.
$65,000 in Central Valley in Modesto,
Uh-huh.
California. This was like almost 37 years back, let's say now. And I put down only $11,000, but that became 315,000. It appraised 5 times more in couple of 3 4 years, whatever happened. I
Yeah.
refinanced it, and then I used that money of the refinance to buy 4 houses. So I've done the chunker strategy, we call it.
Yeah.
And my friends also were in real estate where I live in the Bay Area. And that got me to start thinking. And
Hmm.
we said, okay, let's save some money and buy a single family home. We bought it in Arizona's and Bakersfield. We built some also in Georgia, all
Wow.
over the place.
Yeah.
But then the revelation came about 14 years back to the date. 14 years or
Uh-huh.
15 years back, when I became a broker. I was a motivational speaker all my life, raising thousands of dollars with profit and non-profit organizations. But my heart was in real estate. So
Hmm.
we were buying single family homes, having the property management companies manage them because I didn't have conflict of interest with my employer. So I had W-2 job, but then also I was augmenting my business in real estate.
Yeah.
Just like I tell my students, you can't just leave your job right away. You got to do slowly, slowly, slowly. So
Your
your
side hustle.
audience,
Yeah.
yeah, the audience should really look into it. First of all, they need to see why multifamily. See, when I became broker, I said, I want to go commercial.
Hmm.
So commercial also, you could go into industrial, into, all the different office space. You could go to hospitality, hotels, strip shopping centers, shopping malls, all kind, right? Or
Yeah.
even mobile homes and all. But I saw multifamily as the real strength because our USA always, has been a renter's nation,
Hmm.
big time.
Yeah.
And for people over the last 10, 15 years, I've been purchasing the rental population has been increasing and the home ownership has declined,
Yeah.
and now I'm so fired up about assisted living. That's the 65 plus and 75 plus and 85 plus in USA. It's
Yeah.
on a very big crescendo. It's like going like
Baby
crazy.
boomers, right?
For next 40 years,
Yeah.
next 30 to 40 years, nobody will go wrong if
Yeah.
they got into investing in senior living multifamily.
Yeah.
So essentially, the big thing I want to say to your audience is I bought my first multifamily after I learned the business, 14 units for
Uh-huh.
$180,000.
Wow, that's a steal.
I
That's
know. Back
amazing.
then, in the crash,
Yeah.
our seller was able to sell me for, Odessa, Texas,
Yeah.
14 units for 180. We sold it for 380, but that was my start in
Yeah.
multifamily.
Yeah.
That's what really got me going, buying 60 units, then 72 units, then 109 units, then another 132 units, then 120 units. Then, kept on increasing and kept on understanding more. And then I got to find the power of syndication.
Yeah.
Power of syndication is the best way. It's the utilization of other friends and family money to
Hmm.
buy bigger deals.
Yeah.
And that's what I teach also, right? We
Yeah.
discussed that just before I came on the line. Apartment Syndication Made Easy, the book I wrote last year, it became number one international seller within 2 months. Within two
Yeah.
months
That's amazing.
because I share my whole secrets right in this book for a new person, very newbie. They could just go in there and within 2, 3, 4 hours, they can understand in the audio, or they
Yeah.
could read and highlight all my, things. I give scripts, I give understanding of why multifamily and what to look for and how
Yeah.
to get started with duplex, fourplex, sixplex, which is how I started. See,
Yeah. Start small, right? And
start
then move
small.
up. Yeah.
Totally, totally. I would be still actually buying fourplex and eightplex and 12plex until I really learned syndication.
Yeah.
Syndication, as the word says, it's pooling of money of the
Hmm.
like-minded people so that you become the manager or the offerer or syndication. I'm just saying some technical terms, but you are the sponsor and you are able to put the deal together. So,
Hmm.
as a syndicator, I'm a matchmaker.
Yeah. Right.
I get the investors who are very busy professionals
Yeah.
and they have a lot of money in retirement funds or cash or savings, and they don't have the time to invest. I pool their money legally and I bring the deal from the brokers that I have really underwritten it very nicely
Hmm.
and join them together.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
that I have done for 29 times. That's all I've done. So it's the
Wow.
same repeat process that I've been doing. Yeah.
What's your trick on finding these investors? I know you cover some of this in your book, but let's give a little teaser. How do you find these investors to pull the money together to purchase these
Totally,
complexes?
totally. As you start thinking that there is abundance of money, mindset is very big thing, right?
Hmm.
I've
Yeah.
been a very positive person. Like I said, I'm coming out with a book. Positivity brings profitability coming soon.
Yeah.
But the big thing is that you got to feel that people have money and they do.
Hmm.
But then you need to find out how you could talk to them and ask them, would they like to look into becoming a partner with you? So they are investor partners and they're equity investors. That's the word.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to give you, money for just the debt partner, which is like 7% interest rate or 8% interest. But
Hmm.
if you are using that money to flip homes or buy homes or multifamily, they want to also take a portion of the profits.
Yeah.
So that's the secret sauce, is to
Yeah.
tell your family, friends, people, and I talk in the book quite a lot, how to talk to them in elevator pitch, quickly talk to them. I am really into multifamily, into commercial real estate, and we are always looking for investor equity partners.
Yeah. Wow. That's a
Equity
secret line.
investor,
Investor
yeah.
equity partner.
Equity
Yeah.
partner. People will think about it. They say, "Oh, what did you say? Equity," and you are
Yeah.
saying partner.
Yeah.
So you could even say equity partners. Don't even say investors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just that, those two words can perk them up and say, "Oh my gosh, what do you mean by that?" You
Yeah.
know, and then you say, like, I started with one investor. I have 174 now investors over the last 12 years who have given me millions of dollars. And they have told their children, their brother, their sister, all of them. So a happy family. And we are very particular that they, are learning from me. They are listening from me. And we do the quarterly meetings with the investors live on Zoom. We send them the total transparency.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
second part I would like to say.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to build a business, to be totally transparent. So our investors can ask for anything: bank accounts, invoices, bids, of course, profit and loss statements,
Hmm.
capex statement, anything they want, anything and everything is given to them. And then we authenticate everything through reporting to
Uh-huh.
show them that we are not making the numbers up.
Yeah.
We are showing the occupancies, the real, the good, bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
That's what I say. And that's what they like. I think investors sleep well at night when they know that they are dealing with a trustworthy company, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Being a newbie who wants to get started in this business, what do you think is the hardest thing? I mean, I feel that, putting together a syndication might seem a little scary, to
Yes.
somebody.
Yes.
What are some other hurdles that a newbie would face getting into this?
I would say that, anybody who's thinking about investing in real estate, please don't buy single family, go for a duplex.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing: duplex, triplex, or fourplex, because just the nature of it, you are catering to four families in a fourplex. If one family leaves or loses their job, you have three other families to pay for the mortgage
Yeah.
and the insurance and everything. We
Yeah.
call it house hacking in the duplex, right?
Uh-huh.
So that you could live in one side for free, and the other side, the resident or the tenant will pay for the mortgage.
Yeah.
So I really believe that's the best way to do, is to do like I bought these four homes in one lot in Bakersfield. And that was one of the reasons I bought the 1 acre lot. It had already four homes. I was going to move the homes and build 36 units of multifamily there.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So my thinking has been, how can I, get more units under my belt?
Yeah.
And that's the key. The other thing is, of course, try to get the HELOC. Interest rates are so low right now. If you have dead money in your primary residence or in your rental space, also, if you
Mhm.
own one or two, then take that money out, refinance that, and then buy more real estate. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
When I refinanced that $65,000 home that became 315, I pulled out $270,000 at 3.25 interest rate.
Yeah.
And I
That's
just
great.
paid off that. I sold that house in 2017. So
Yeah.
I kept it for almost 30 some years.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing, right? The power of real estate.
Is it. And the other thing is, don't go for big, big properties. Just always be thinking about how can you buy 8 units or
Yeah.
12 units or 14 units. Once you go into that scope, you would be surprised, and go to some RIA meeting, the real
Yeah.
estate investment meetings, some, meetup groups where you live,
Mhm.
because you will find like-minded people there, and
Yeah.
then you can unite. That's the
Yeah.
key thing. You could really, it's a power of teamwork, I say.
Yeah.
In single family you could buy one or two or three. When you are doing commercial, multifamily, or things like that, it's really good to seek out people that might have similar kind of interest,
Yeah.
and that's what is the important thing. Yes, forming kind of like a union. You don't want to get into a partnership. You make your own a Wyoming LLC and your partner makes their own Wyoming LLC. Wyoming are
Hmm.
the best LLCs, by the way,
Hmm. Yeah.
protect you and everything.
Yeah.
And then you just go and work together and find there is money flowing all around you. You could do some joint ventures.
Hmm.
You could do a lot of different things to get the engine started. That's how I
Yeah.
say. It's a
Yeah.
train, but you got to start the engine, start moving from the train, I mean, from the station, because once it starts, the momentum starts building. Like, for example, in my case, I started humble beginning of 14 years back,
Yeah.
12 years back only, sorry, 12 years back with 180,000. Then I bought last year $52 million deal with
Wow.
my partner.
Yeah.
My partners, we bought 52 million from 180,000 to 52 million in
Yeah.
June last year. And then we raised 7 million more as money raising with my investors to buy 35 million, another one. Wow.
Wow.
87 million just last year in 2019.
That's amazing. That's amazing work. I love what you're saying. A lot of, people who I speak with, they're like, have your newbie start with syndication, raise all this money. But I love the tips that you just shared, like start small, start with a duplex, start with a fourplex. It's all
Totally.
about changing your mindset, right? And just
Yes.
getting started. Like you said, like a train, just start, get it going. And that's just amazing. And the second point about creating, going to meetups and whatnot, I can attest to that. I started my own meetup group here in the South Bay a
Yes.
few months ago. And my first meeting, I did a presentation of my background, what I've done in real estate.
Sure.
And after the meeting, about 3 or 4 people came up to me, and basically at the end of the day, just for talking maybe 15 minutes and presenting on who I am,
Hmm.
I raised about $750,000.
Oh my
One guy said, "I have a $500,000. Let me know when you're ready. Let's do something."
Oh my God.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. Definite amazing.
I love it. I love it. That's so true. I've always believed in the law of secret, law of
Mhm.
attraction, because once you send the signals out, you're really sincere about it, things happen for big, 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 big reasons. We
Yeah,
don't even know where the money will flow in. Now
yeah,
I'm able to raise millions of dollars like over
yeah.
the weekend. I give my deal to my investors. I've never done webinars, by the way. Can you believe it? For my investors, for last 12 years, I've never done a webinar,
Hmm.
but I've done investor meetings,
Yeah,
quarterly investor meetings. Vinnie is smart. So what I do is I go over the property on the back end, 5 slides. I
yeah,
show them the next deal.
yeah.
So I
That's
have
great.
pre-existing relationships and I know everybody's going to watch it anyway.
Yeah,
So then I always kept on showing them the new one and the new one and the new one. I'm going from Texas to Atlanta to Florida, now
awesome.
into senior living, and they are following me. And
Yeah,
so it's so easy when I give out the package, which they know that Vinny has returned pretty high returns to them. It's just a no-brainer. Like
yeah.
raised like 4 million over the weekend. I just sent my package out. By the end of the day, I got overshot by 1.6 million my last 2 weeks back. My Punta Gorda project, I'm doing senior living there,
Hmm.
assisted senior living ground up, sold
Awesome.
out within over the weekend, shot up into 1.6 million for my next project in Williamsburg.
Wow. Wow, you are amazing.
you know
That's great. Yeah.
and the exciting thing is, if I may say that to your audience, because we are filming it or videotaping it today, end of May, with COVID happening,
Yeah.
there is so much time. Everybody's got maybe another couple of months still to
Yeah.
really hone in on their skills. So I definitely would like to challenge your audience right away to Google, to look for who are the people in the Bay Area, wherever they are,
Yeah.
who are meetup groups,
Yeah.
and who are the coaching or mentoring programs or whatever, right? So that they can learn the business, because a lot of great opportunities will be coming in the next 12 months, because
Yeah.
of what has happened with the rent control, with rents going down, the
Hmm.
NOI, net operating income, going
Yeah.
down. So there'll be few
Yeah.
products coming out. And then
Yeah.
senior assisted living is another one. If anybody is interested, they should look into it. We
Hmm.
are only in the assisted senior living, which is not acute care, it's not nursing home, and it's not independent living.
Hmm.
So, what we are in that middle is the space where we could build ground up very nice, our communities. And we do a lot of feasibility studies and all that. But the good part is that we can build one within 14 months from
Wow.
ground up.
Where did you say you're building this?
Okay,
Ground
this
up?
is actually, our partner, Mr. Imran, we are so fortunate. Again, it's the law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
When you send out, I didn't even know him about a year back. Through a mutual contact, we were able to, John actually,
Yeah.
we were able to meet together, and now we are partners, and
Wow.
he had done 23 of the built ups, which I've been trying to learn and understand.
Yeah.
Here, I find a wonderful, wonderful, developer who
Hmm.
is so passionate about building the senior living. Like, let's spoil the generation that spoiled us.
Yeah.
That's his logo, and motto. And we just built the one in Cape Coral, by the way,
Wow.
Florida, and have an offer on the table. We are not even open yet. $7 million profit.
That's amazing.
$7 million profit. And
That's
that's like only
amazing.
done in 14 months to build it up. Then we are building
Wow.
in Punta Gorda, Williamsburg, Palm Bay,
Wow.
Sebastian, going into Texas. So we are doing senior living multifamily.
Yeah.
Haha, that's I want to say. We are not in residential senior living at all,
Yeah. Yeah.
not the residential with the beds and room and all that,
Yeah.
but we are into luxury senior living. We build for very low price. I'm just saying that, with the movie theater in there, spas, salon, dining halls, a chef,
Wow.
commercial kitchen, and then
Wow. How do I sign up?
lounge. I know. It's a 5 star. It's a 7 star, 5 to 7 star
That's
resort.
amazing.
And the residents only pay $3,800 for the whole
Wow.
month, and they have nothing else to pay
That's
but
a
their telephone
steal.
bill.
Yeah, that's a
3800
steal.
$3,800 with 3 meals,
Yeah, that's a
snacks,
steal.
and all the caregiving and all the linen and laundry all taken care of. And then
Jeez.
they can enjoy the transportation also, all paid for. And their units are all brand new, of course,
Yeah.
studio or 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, with ample closets and big bathrooms where the
Wow.
wheelchair can go 360 degrees. So big doors and high
Yeah.
ceiling. And then the luxury is the movie theater and the spas and the library and the salons, and professional dining, private dining,
Yeah.
all that. And then 3 compounds we built. One is on the waterfall on the left side, with the big walkways and very nice vegetable garden and the flower gardens that the residents can get involved in.
Yeah.
Then the middle one has in Florida, we put the swing pools and benches and arbors and all beautiful sceneries. And on the right side is our memory care, where we put butterfly house and the putting
Wow.
green. I mean, it's like a
That's
resort.
amazing. Dude, that's amazing, man. That's great. Wow, that's very affordable. I mean, that's what some people pay here in the Bay Area to rent an ADU in someone's backyard.
I agree
Yeah,
with
that's
you.
that's
Yes,
amazing.
yes.
Great
I
business
know our
plan.
daughter is paying what 4,300 a month,
Yeah.
in San Francisco,
Yeah.
just for like a 1 bedroom apartment. They gave her some specials this time, but still it's 28, 2,900 a month.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're right, how much you have to pay and then pay on top of it. But this includes all utilities, everything, all lodging, all linen, all
Yeah.
everything. And the best thing is, the only one is the telephone bill. That's all they have to pay.
That's amazing. Wow, you definitely know how to make things happen, man. That's great. That's awesome. That's great. That's great. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? I mean, you're doing big things, but where do you see yourself? What's your ultimate goal in 10 years?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Martin. Definitely, I'm very, very excited about multifamily. We
Yeah.
have opened up Austin, Texas also as the
Hmm.
target market now. I was in San Antonio, San Marcos, Seguin, right nearby Austin. I'm planning to buy 3 to 6 assets, B class, B plus assets in Austin
Yeah.
because it's dismantling of the Silicon Valley. Actually, a lot of people with the new COVID-19, they will be moving and working from their own places.
Yeah.
So we'll see a lot more technical people shifting to Atlanta, to Florida, to I mean cheaper states, let's say, and
Yeah.
also to Austin. It's not that cheap, but still,
Yeah.
that's my multifamily bread and butter. We'll
Yeah.
be buying. Senior assisted living is my number two focus now. We'll be starting 4 to 6 of them every year. That's great, breaking the ground and then building them in the next 14 months or so at different locations from right there Michigan. We have saturated it, 23 of them there. Then Florida, and of course Virginia, Texas, and then we are coming to Arizona and Washington state and Oregon state. So those are our second part of the business. The third part is the hospitality. We just purchased a Hilton Garden Inn in Texas, and we are buying more Marriotts and Hiltons in my another company with my very strong partners who have millions and billions of dollars. Actually,
Yeah.
anyway, that's the third one. The fourth one is Monil Branding, digital branding company we have put together where we could do click funnels and lead magnets and landing pages in a box
Hmm.
and websites control and Facebook ads and everything we could do at very nominal fees. That's our other
Okay.
business. And then fourth or the maybe fifth business, I should have said that before. Sorry. My academy, multifamily academy, where I teach. That's a big business now of one of my companies, which I started 7 years back. And
Yeah.
John Rusin is the vice president, as you know him.
Yeah.
And we are getting very, very good quality mentoring students.
Yeah.
They have to apply to become into our community of mastermind and all that. And I teach personally. I have no
Yeah.
coaches whatsoever. I teach myself personal coaching or group coaching every week.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. Wow. I feel like I can just chat with you all day, man. You have so many ideas, so many businesses going on. You're definitely an amazing role model for myself, and I know many of our listeners. That's awesome. You have a book, right? And you also have some podcasts coming out. Would you mind sharing
Oh,
those with us?
sure, sure. Thank you so much. If I may show right here. So I do have that Apartment Syndication Made Easy, the book I wrote,
Yeah,
and then Spanish version just came out. I
that's
wanted to
awesome.
share with your audiences. If anybody knows of, somebody who would really enjoy Spanish version of
That's
the
great.
book. And then my other book is coming out, Positivity Brings Profitability. My third book will be coming out on lending, apartment lending made easy. That's my
Ooh,
another book. Then my fourth book is going to be on senior investing. We have already started it, and it's called Investing Passively in Senior Housing. That's the other
wow.
book. Then our podcast is also going out. I have two podcasts, by the way. So one is to the sequel to the book that I
Yeah,
bring out every week. Please look for that one, huge one. The second one is my motivational speaking, Mr. Smiley's Motivation Talk Show, which I really
great.
enjoy. I've been a motivational speaker all my life.
Yeah,
And then the other book, oh, the podcast is on senior living. That's the one, innovative innovative investing in senior living, something like that.
yeah.
That's our third podcast, weekly podcast will be
Wow.
coming out.
Wow, that's great. Wow. I don't know how you find time to do all of this. That's awesome. If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Sure, Martin. They could Google me, Vinny Chopra, Vinney like Deepak Chopra from
Yeah,
La Jolla. He is
yeah,
a great, great author and motivational speaker, amazing person.
yeah.
My last name is the same, no connection. but Vinny, Vinney, they could actually email me personally at Vinny@VinnyChopra.com. Vinny@VinnyChopra.com. And then my website is also VinnyChopra.com. And then we have seniorlivinginvesting.co. Lots of different websites are coming out. And I'm on the social media. You could
Yeah.
reach us anytime.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I follow Vinny on Facebook, and yeah, he puts out wealth of knowledge. He's always sharing so much positive things. It's amazing. Yeah, last question actually. I see you post a lot about you making special coffee and whatnot. How do I get my hands on one of your special espressos that you make?
I know. This was really, really interesting. I love coffees. Every morning I wake up, I have different flavors of coffees
Yeah.
that I love. And then again, we bought this, I think it's called a very nice big machine. My wife and I bought it actually, a huge one.
Yeah.
And we had a smaller home, so we couldn't really use that for a couple of years. And I said, we moved into Blackhawk Country Club because we needed a bigger place to house that machine in the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
But I love coffees, all kind of lattes and
Yeah.
caramel and all kind of creamers
Oh
and
yeah.
wine. The red wine, I love red wine. Actually, I enjoy Chardonnays, white
Yeah.
wine to red wine. We are so close to the our
Napa
wine
Valley,
country
yeah.
here. I enjoy every night a big glass full of red wine to keep me young. I'm only
Yeah.
67. I'll be 68 in couple of
Wow.
months coming
Yeah.
up. But I want to be like this, talking and enjoying
Yeah.
life like this in
Yeah.
the next 20 years. That's my
That's
passion,
great. That's great.
and no, thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Smiles, so much for being a guest on the Become a Billionaire with Me podcast. I learned so much from you. You're so positive. You're doing so much. And yeah, I just want to thank you again for being a guest on the podcast.
No, thank you, Martin. Thank you for your great podcast and bringing great value to your audience. God bless you. And
Thank
if
you.
anything I can do, and if you ever come this way to the Blackhawk Danville area, I'd love to, have lunch with you once COVID is gone.
Right.
And if I can be of any help to any of your audiences, they can definitely email us and we'll help them all the way.
Awesome. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. And yeah, continue to do big things and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
God
thank
bless
you.
you.
God
Bye-bye.
bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Become a Billionaire with Me podcast. If you liked what you heard, please help by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to make a comment in the comment section. Let's become billionaires together.